What is happening, guys? This is Alexis again with another deck profile. This time about Darklord Despia, as promised. It took me a bit to get the new cards, but I finally did yesterday from a friend. And here we are with a deck completed. As I did the last time, I will present the deck engine by engine. So let's start with the Despias. First of all, 3 Alibers, pretty standard. The normal summon of the deck that you need. One of the best cards of the deck right now. 2 copies of the level 8. I prefer to run 2. First of all, because it special summons itself after you fusion summon. Secondly, it's a level 8. So you need this for the XYZ plays. 1 copy of the new one. This is not that needed, but first of all, it's a Despia, so it's another material for your fusions, and the fairy one, so you can also make the Darklord fusion with this. It's a level 8 as this one, so you can also use this for your XYZ plays. 3 branded openings, pretty standard. 3 field spells. Some people play 2, I prefer to run 3, just in case my Aliber gets negated, so I can have this in hand. And 1 copy of Branded in red. It's the new one from the Burst of Destiny. I believe that 1 copy is fine in this deck. You don't need more than that. And that's pretty much it for the Despias. Now let's go for the Darklord engine. First of all, we have Morningstar. This, for me, it's the most important card of the deck, because this deck is going second. So you wanna go for the fusion with this as material, so you can pop your opponent's entire board. So this one is very important as a card. So 1 copy of this. Some people play 2, I prefer to play 1. If you play Desires, in the end you can play 2, but 1 is fine for me because you have many searchers, like this one. 3 copies of the normal summon. I like to play 3 instead of 2, because first of all, it searches this one, and secondly, you cannot always have Aliber in hand, so you need to have a normal summon. 3 Darklord XL. Very important for the deck, and before Despias came out anyway. Your draw engine, this is dark for the allure. It's a fairy for your Despias. 3 Suburbias. The Monster Reborn on legs. 3 copies of the Searcher. This is a must at 3. And 2 copies of the Master Reborn for the Darklords. And 1 copy of the Trap that you have not seen in my previous profiles. I decided to play this because you guys will ask me what to do if you will go first. And this one, it is pretty much the reason I play this card, because if you go first, your opponent lets you go first, you can have this and Morningstar in hand to fuse into the fusion and pop your opponent's board in their turn. So this is a main deck solution, just in case you go first. If you want, you can always not run it, but I recommend you do. Just 1 copy is not that bricky. So this is for the Darklords. And now let's go to the more generic cards. 1 copy of this. It came out in Dawn of Majesty. It's not that important, but first of all, it's a fairy. Secondly, it's a free extender. She special summons herself. wherever a fairy monster activates its effect. So in other words, your Darklords or Despias. And it also pops or banishes a card. Let me see. It banishes one card of your opponent. And now let's go for the hand traps. You have the Gamma package. The reason I play Gamma is because I also run a Chaos Ruler to fill my grave. Secondly, because it's a light, and you know, the Despia fusions are made with either dark or light monsters. And the third reason is because you have this in hand going second. It's 2 free materials on board for your links that you will see in a bit. So Gamma is pretty standard. And we also have Lancia, something that is kind of important in this deck. First of all, this hand trap hurts many decks right now. Tri-Brigade, Invoke decks, Virtual World. Generally, it hurts the majority of the meta. It's a fairy, so you can make your fusions with it. It's a fairy and a light also. So you can either use it to stop your opponent's play or for your fusions. And we have 3 copies of Allure of Darkness. I had in mind Desires as an option, but I did not like the fact that I ran some cards as one-offs and I did not want to banish them. So I went with Allure, and it doesn't really hurt in my opinion. Like it's really helpful, and you always need the resources in hand in these kind of decks. And Allure is pretty good for that part. And as the last one, Monster Reborn, for your extenders, for your as a bait going second, and generally it doesn't really hurt. So 41 cards for the main deck. Now let's go for the extra. We have 2 copies of the first Darklord. This is the most important card in your extra deck because, as I said, your goal is to pop your opponent's board going second or first with a trap. So this card is kind of must. I don't know if you want to run it at 2 or 1. For me, 2 are really good. And this also has a Monster Reborn effect, which is pretty awesome. So your goal is to summon this card, pop your opponent's entire board, and OTK from there. These are the Despia fusions. You will wonder why I do not run Masquerade. I won't lie, Masquerade is mostly going first card. Like going second, it doesn't really provide any important plays. It doesn't really do anything from it doesn't really help your goals, so I decided to leave it aside. You can always run it if you want, but it's not a must in my opinion. Like you can leave it out, it won't hurt. And the final fusion is Starving Venom. This is a super poly target, as you have guessed. And let's go for the XYZs. We have number 38. This is very good if you want to go first and have an interruption. We have Dingirsu. This pretty much outs any card that can be targeted. We have Zeus. Very important to it's another way basically to break your opponent's entire board if you cannot access the first Darklord. Then we have number 97, Draglibion, for the Numero Dragon. This is another way to OTK your opponent. Generally this deck has many weapons going second, as you can see in the extra deck. Like it has the first Darklord, it has the Zeus, It has the Numeron Dragon, and we also run Border Sword just in case, along with Crossip to make it more easily. And we have also the Darklord link, because this card, first of all, searches Morningstar, so it's kind of important. It's another way to search your Morningstar. And the final card in the extra deck is Chaos Ruler. As I said previously, with the Gamma package, you can summon this one, fill your grave. It's a level 8 for your XYZs. And it's also a very good beat stick at 3k attack. So this is for the extra deck. Now let's go for the side deck. We have 3 Phantasme. When you go against decks that run links, like Dragon Link, Tri-Brigade, invoked variants, stuff like that, it helps you make your hand better. It's also a lure target, worst case scenario, and it can also protect your Aluber or normal summon from getting impermanence or Veilard. We have also 3 Draw and Lockbird for dry turns, invoked variants. Whatever deck adds a lot. And also we have 3 Dark Runner no more. You will wonder why I don't play Droplet over this. What I don't like with Droplets is that you need to discard cards, and this deck needs resources in hand. So it doesn't really help with what you want to do with the deck. And although you cannot OTK with this card because you cannot cause damage, it's kinda enough for what you want to do with the fusion and pop the entire board of your opponents. Then we have 3 Super Poise, as I said earlier. It's not that your only target is Venom. You can also make the Despia fusions with these because they need light or dark targets. So this one is pretty good, going second. And the last card in the side deck is Cosmic Cyclones versus back row, Eldritch, Mystic Mine, stuff like that. Pretty standard. Like, you can also play Twisters or Lightning Storms. I prefer these because it's a quick play over the Lightning Storms, and you can chain it to stuff like Schism or the Eldritch traps or whatever causes you problems. And this is pretty much it for the deck. Some words for it. As I said, it's going second. Your purpose is to pop your opponent's entire board with a fusion. Going first, there are options like the number 38, the trap, that you can pop your opponent's entire board with the first Darklord. In terms of consistency, it's not bad. It can OTK kinda easily, and I hope for more Despia support in the future, so this deck can be even stronger. I will make more replay videos in the future because this is one of my favorite decks right now, so you guys can see how it works and what kind of plays you can make with it. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. Also, let me know what other deck profiles you want to see, you want to watch me do, and see you next time.